Good morning, students. Today is April 29th, Wednesday, and we do not have any Zoom meetings because it's a holiday for the students, so we'll continue to have the video today. So let's check our homework from Tuesday. And the homework was workbook page 3 to 4. So this is the top part of page 3. And question number 1. There are 18 chicken wings. Divide them into bags of 6. How many bags are there? So we can group the chicken wings into a group of 6. So we have 3 groups, and that's why the answer is 3. So there are 3 bags. For chapter 11, this was the first time to introduce the division equation to you guys, and you were taught to see the relationship between the different parts of the equation, like between the dividend, divisor, and quotient. So for question number 2, there are 22 cans of drink. Divide them into boxes of 7. So you need to put 7 drinks in one group. How many boxes of drink are there, and how many cans of drink are left? So you can circle the drinks, put them into a group of 7, and you would have 3 groups here, so that's why the quotient is 3, and then you have 1 can remaining, so the remainder would be a 1. So there are 3 boxes of drink and 1 can of drink is left. And for question 3 and 4, we are doing repeated subtraction here. So because the divisor is a 5, so we keep on minus 5 subtract the 5 from 15, and then we do this 3 times, so that's why the quotient is a 3. The answer is a 3, and there's nothing remaining, so we don't have any remainder. And question number 4, 18 divided by 4, that means we'll keep on subtracting the 4 from 18, and then from 14, 10, 6, and then we have number 2 left, so 2 is the remainder, and we have subtract number 4 times here, so that's why the quotient is also a 4. So this is the top part of page 4. I won't talk about all of them, I'll just talk about the last 2 questions. So question 11, 63 divided by 7, and the answer is a 9. So you try to think back to the multiplication table for 7, and because 63 is a large number, so you would try the large number as well. So maybe the first one you may think of is 7 times 6, so 42 is still smaller than 63. Then you would try something bigger. You would try the 7 times 7 is a 49, 7 times 8, 56, 7 times 9, there, 63. And question number 12, 72 divided by 9 equals to 8. So once again, we have to think of the multiplication table for 9 for the divisor, and then because 72 is also a large number, so you'll try to think of the large number in the multiplication table of 9. So 9 times 8 is 72. It's a challenging question. The number of scouts in a team is smaller than 30. When they are divided into groups of 3, 4, 6, and 8, there are no scouts left. How many scouts are there in the team? So the answer, the number that we are looking for, is smaller than 30. And that number, when it is divided by 3, when it is divided by 4 or 6 or 8, there are no scouts left. That means there's no remainder. So when you actually flip over your textbook, you'll see the explanation over here. So when you list out the product of the multiplication of 3, you would get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. And when you list out all the products of multiplication of 4, So let's say 4 times 1 equals 4, 4 times 2 equals to 8, 4 times 3 equals to 12, and so on. And then you do so for the multiplication of 6 as well as 8. And you will find that there's one number that would appear in all 4 of this multiplication table, so which is number 24. That means when 24 is divided by 3, when 24 is divided by 4, or when 24 is divided by 6, or when 24 is divided by 8, there's no remainder here. So, and also it's actually 24 is less than 30. So this is the number that we are looking for. So please turn to page 25 of your textbook 2D. We'll start chapter 13 today. And part A in the aquarium shop. Question number 1. There are 24 fish. Divide them equally into 4 tanks. How many fish are there in each tank? So if you remember from book 2C, I talked about the 5-step method. So you're encouraged to use the 5-step method to work on this kind of problem. So we just did the very first step, which is to read the problem and identify the question. And then for step 2, you need to find the given information. So we know that we have 24 fish, and then we are asked to divide them equally into 4 tanks. So equally, that means each tank will contain the same number of fish. And then step 3, we have to organize the information and write the expression. So you're encouraged to draw this kind of organization chart in order to help you to come up with the expression. So here we have 24 fish, and this will be the dividend. And then we have 4 tanks here, so that means we have 4 groups. So we will be able to come up with 24 divided by 4. And in order to come up with the answer, we can use multiplication table to help us out. So remember, in the multiplication equation, the number on the right side of the multiplication sign would be the number of groups. So right now we have 4 tanks. That means we have 4 groups. So the number 4 goes here. And then we want to find out the number multiplied by 4. That would be equal to 24. 24 is the number of fish that we have. And then we can put the division equation into the column form. So 24 divided by 4. And then we would use the multiplication table to help us out to try to come up with the number. When it multiplied by 4, it would equal to 24. So the answer would be 6. So 6 times 4 equals to 24. Or 4 times 6 equals to 24. So remember, we have to write the product of this multiplication here, and then we draw a line. And because we get the exact same answer here, which is 24, and there's no remainder because we do not want any remainder, because we want all the 4 tanks contain the same number of fish. So the answer is 6. So there are 6 fish in each tank. So if you can't draw this kind of organization chart, you can also draw circles, 24 circles to represent the 24 fish. And then you try to divide them into 4 groups. So this is another way to work on this kind of problem. So question number 2, once again we'll follow the 5-step method, and for the first step we'll read the problem. So divide 35 streams equally into 5 bags. So how many streams are there in each bag? So we're done with the first step, and the second step is to find the given information. So we have 35 streams, and we have 5 bags. And the third step, we need to organize the information. So there we have this organization chart, and then we're asked to write the expression. So here you can think of this question as dividing like 35 objects into 5 groups equally. And division is a way to help us to find the number of objects in each group when sharing objects equally. So the total number of streams or the total number of objects would go into the dividend. And then the divisor would be our number of groups or number of bags here. So 35 divided by 5. And in order to find the answer, we can recite the multiplication table. And once again, in the multiplication equation, the number on the right of the multiplication sign would be the number of groups. So here we have 5 groups, so 5 is over here. So we need to find a number multiplied by 5 equals to 35. So we can also put this horizontal form into the column form, and remember the dividend goes here inside the division sign, and then the divisor outside of it, and then remember the answer, the quotient, goes here. So we know that 5 times 7 or 7 times 5 equals 35. So that means there are 7 objects or 7 streams in each group or in each bag. So there are 7 streams in each bag.